Griffin the Griffin by BlackWing. Chapter 34. Meet the Troll. I woke and cracked all my joints, then shuddered with satisfaction. I put on my gear and then went to wake up the crew. Big day! We gotta help with the launch of the ship. The two of us will be flying around the outside making sure it's clear. Nadine, start training Maria. Etch, Grell, I want you to help with whatever Steelhorn needs, within reason anyway. If he starts having you act like butlers, feel free to turn him down. But that's not till later. First, let's get breakfast. Shimmer woke up from her nap and poked her head out of Gilda's backpack with a yawn. Hey, nice of you to wake up. How are you this morning? I miss my mommy. At which point, she was grabbed and held close, having her nuzzled into the Lady Griffin's feathers again. I did too. Shimmer didn't seem to understand, but I told her that we'd explain later, and that there was no need to worry herself with it, and that her new mom would tell her when she was ready. No point in burdening the kin. As we walked down the hall, I noticed the rooms next to ours had been claimed. Spying the names written on the doors, I read them over and over, sudden realization hitting me like a ton of bricks. I dove into Gilda's room as I heard a commotion within, the main six waking up. Gilda, we've got a problem. You know how I said before I was forgetting something? You know how Tailton was destroyed and that's where the six were headed? Yeah? Guess where the closest settlement to there is? Here? You guessed it, and guess who our neighbors are? You must be kidding. I wish I was, she faced Claude. Is there something wrong with our neighbors? Are they mean? Shimmer asked. No, it's not that. It's just we know them and weren't expecting to run into them here. We're not really friends, but we're not really enemies either. Just unexpected. And I need to think of a way to handle them before we meet them. We could kick them off the ship, seeing as how we technically own it right now. And just leave them to die here? We can't just throw them to the dragons. No offense, Shimmer. So, avoid? Kind of unlikely since their rooms are right next to ours. Then what? Try and make peace? Alright, I forgot. You know about them from before. You're not gonna have a fanboy moment, are you? Gilda deadpanned. No guarantees, but hey, you got to hang out with Daring too. Fine. Are you at least gonna do your usual thing? Use trickery and charm to humiliate them into oblivion? Of course. I wouldn't miss that chance for a world. Here's what I'm gonna do. After explaining my plan, I put my ear to the door and hearing the other one open. Well, I must say that these accommodations, while not 5-star, are quite satisfactory, Rarity said as she exited her room. You're telling me I haven't gotten such a good night's sleep in forever, Twilight replied. That's because you don't have a library here, so instead of studying all night, you actually sleep, Dash chided. I thought it was nice, although it was a little quiet. I'm used to hearing the breathing of my little animals. Fluttershy complaining about it being quiet? I have to say, it was pretty comfy. I dropped like I had just finished Applebug season, Applejack. Haven't seen either of them yet, but their voices match perfectly. Today we have to have a super duper fun party! First, let's get breakfast. With that, the main six outside my door went to the upper decks to get something to eat. We had food hidden in our own way, so we just took that with us. The deck was lowered in the morning. Well, as much as morning as it would be within an underground bunker on an airship with few windows, but regardless, it had been lowered to let more supplies in preparation of the final standoff. Alright, so I was thinking, we go for shock and awe treatment. Just walk up, say hi like it's nothing, and they'll be too confused to come up with a proper reaction. Sounds good! After explaining it to Nadine, Maria, Etch, Grell, and Trixie, we all gathered our gear and went up to the mess hall for breakfast. We had gotten up before the cats, and as they stayed up in the night, helping out, so they would sleep further into the day. All that remained was the launch at noon, where we would be flying around, making sure the edges of the ship didn't scrape on walls and stuff like that. Entering the eatery, we saw the main six sitting at a table. Rather than buy food from that greedy monitor, we opted to just eat some of our own. After all, we had brought a plenty large supply of it. It would last us about a week if it kept. We'd have to get more on the next port, though. I didn't see that as a problem, considering we're pirates. We just do some piracy. Or we could go to the Zebra Isles and pick off the natural growing stuff, whatever works. We walked over to them, fully armed and armored, and sat down. I, of course, sat next to Fluttershy. Hey, mind if we sit here? Oh no, go right ahead, Twilight responded, not really paying attention. Gilda sat across from me, Nadine next to me, Maria across from her. Then Trixie sat across from Etch and Growl by himself. He's kind of antisocial, but oh well. I used to be too. Shimmer was in Gilda's backpack eating a banana apple. The main six weren't really paying attention, still half asleep, and didn't realize it was me. Then again, Fluttershy and Applejack were the ones right next to me, and they hadn't seen me before other than the wanted posters. Time to open up a bit. So, how's about that, Gilda? Bet you weren't expecting to eat breakfast with a band of fearless pirate hunters, especially since we're the pirates they're hunting. I was sure a fight would have broken out by now. A clamor of spoons being dropped, the main six turned to look at the source of the voice, seeing me with a big stupid grin plastered on my face. Hiya! Long time no see! At which point all of their chairs fell over backwards, and there were 6 ponies lying on the floor groaning. They eventually all got to their feet, all in combat stance, ready to fight. Oh, just sit down and have your breakfast, will ya? We can do that later. There's no point in fighting with an empty stomach. We just continued to eat, while the main six slowly walked back over their seats. Very cautiously, as though they were expecting it to be some kind of a trick. Eventually, they were all sitting, eating their food like it might be poison, despite the fact that they had already been eating it before I came in. They all kept an eye on me the whole time. Finally, once we had eaten, the whole of us stood up. We should do this in the main hall. It's empty, and I don't want to break anything. I won't be able to afford replacements. They nodded dumbly, not really sure of what was going on, but going along with it anyway. We walked out first, and they followed. I could hear whispers from behind.
Psst, crazy? What? Thinking? How? Not worried. Psst, arrest Celestia.
Probably wondering what's going on in my head. Twilight reminding them of their goal to arrest me and bring me back to the princess. We entered the main hall, all of us lining up on one side, where the 6 were on the other. They eyed us warily. I looked at Trix and moved my head, signaling her to stay close. Nadine stood in front of Maria. Etch and Growl drew their charged gem spears. Nadine and Gilda moved back, drawing their bows, keeping the younger Griffin behind them. Etch and Growl moved to either side of me, and a little bit behind to protect my back from the line from flanking. I stood in front and center. Twilight stood in front of center as well, Dash to her left and AJ to her right. Rarity was behind and to the left of Twilight, Pinky behind and to the right, and Fluttershy was carrying at the back. She's cute and all, but she's not meant for combat. Sure, she can use the stare, but if that fails, she's doomed. Then again, she snapped a bear's neck. Griffin, we are here to arrest you and your crew for your crimes against Equestria and bring you back to Canterlot to face judgment by Princess Celestia. Twilight finally had the nerve to speak up and did so with a speech about justice. Okay. Then you give us no choice but to... Wait, what did you just say? Yep. So then, you surrender? She cocked her head to the side. I drew Hades and held it on a guard stand in front of me. Nope. Wait, what? You said you were here to arrest me, and I acknowledge that. And now I'm telling you... You'll never take me alive, copper! Pinky started to giggle. Pinky, this is serious. This isn't some police drama, it's life. Oh, lighten up, would ya? Oh, lighten up, would ya? If you keep fretting over every little thing, you'll wind up gray before you're 20. At which point, I plucked a single silver strand from her mane and held it so everyone could see. Stifled giggles from Dash and AJ, and blatant laughter from my side ensued. It's not funny! Twilight started grinding her teeth. Yes, it is. Speaking of you, how'd you find us? Have you been following us? I suddenly took up a Rainbow Dash position. Are you a spy? Dash couldn't help it, and finally broke down laughing.
Woo! That's funny, because that's what Dashy asked the first time they met!
Pinky was bouncing around. Oh, relax. I know Twilight's not a spy. I mean, why would she be a spy when it's clearly Pinkie Pie who's the secret agent? They all looked at me incredulously, while Pinky actually seemed to be a slight bit nervous. What? She can run almost as fast as Dashy can fly, can appear out of anything from a basket of sponges to a mirror, defy all laws of physics and logic, has an innate sense of danger as well as other things, and is able to pull a cannon out of nowhere, and has hats, eye patches, and other such disguises hidden all over Equestria just in case of an emergency. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out before. After all, Mina, we used to be partners. Huh? The 6 asked. They didn't understand. Hinka Mina Diane Pi. Mina, mi amor, why did you betray me? You left the spy business, gave up all of your memories of me. For what? To follow your dreams of becoming a baker? The moonlit sonata in the streets of Venice, the dinners in France underneath the stars, fighting together, back to back against all odds. Did all of it mean nothing to you? You didn't even say goodbye. You just let them mind wipe you and left. I would have gone with you. I would have given up our past for a future with you. But no, you left me behind. I refused to give up my memories of you, and so I left my memory intact. I went renegade in hopes that they would call you back into active duty and come after me, since you were the only one who could ever best me. But it seems my plan has failed. You chased me of your own accord, not knowing of who I was, who I am. I looked down depressed. Pinky looked at me for a second before winking.
Yes! She realized the improv and she's gonna play along! Mockingbird?
She adopted a French accent.
Mina? I would never let them take our love. I escaped and went into hiding. That's why I never looked for you. I couldn't let myself be found. But now, all this, for me? You have gone too far.
But Mina,
no. You always knew our duty came first.
She stepped in front of Twilight to stare me down. I brought fake tears to my eyes.
Now for the good of Equestria, I must stop you. I will bring you back to the academy, where you will pay for your crimes, and I my own.
Then you are lost. The Mina I knew and loved is dead. There is nothing left for me in this world, and I will never go back, and I won't allow you to either. I grabbed a vial of mana potion from my pack and drank it. This is the end. If I am dead, then you will have no reason to return to that awful place and give up your freedom. I made overly dramatic death motions before I fell to the ground, dead. Rarity and Fluttershy were bawling, holding each other. Applejack and Dash each wiped a tear from their eye, and Twilight had tears streaming down her face. Pinky just sat there.
I always knew the price of justice was steep, but I never did imagine it would take you from me. Good night, Mockingbird.
She closed her eyes and walked back to her friends. And cut! Trixie called out. I sprang to my feet. Pinky turned around and started giggling, and all her friends, still with tears in their eyes, suddenly snapped to attention. Wait,
What?
Twilight called out. Did you like our improv? I thought it was pretty good.
It was an act?
The lavender unicorn started fuming.
And you were in on it?
She turned to Pinkie Pie.
Yippers! What's going on?
What's going on is we just gave you material for your next romance novel. Or was it Rarity that writes the romance novels? Fluttershy? No. Oh, wait. Maybe you haven't started writing them yet. Right. The time difference. Duh.
But that doesn't make any sense,
the purple mare declared. Then in my best impression of discord, I said, Makes sense. Oh, what fun is there in making sense? They all let out a collective gasp. Discord! Not even close. He's chaotic evil. I'm chaotic good. What? Oh, do I have to explain everything? Princess Celestia is lawful good. Always does the right thing and in the most acceptable manner. Echo is neutral good. He doesn't have the power that being royalty brings, and he knows that things don't always work out, so he does all he can, but he knows sometimes he has to bend the rules. I'm chaotic good. My plan will improve the lives of everyone everywhere, but the task is nearly impossible, and I'm overstepping the boundaries of what should be possible with every move I make. So I have to break a lot of rules. You? Good? You're a pirate! You're evil! Twilight reasoned. Oh, I see. So trying to help an entire nation who is starving to death and with fear of their lives and freedoms is evil because they're not ponies? Except that some of them are. If my plan succeeds, I'll free and feed all the griffins, diamond dogs, and ponies who are living in oppression in the northern provinces. That doesn't sound evil to me. What is evil is the fact that your princess took apart the Griffin government, destroying their organization with it. Any semblance of defense they had. She's partly responsible for the state it's been in for the past 900 years. I'm just cleaning up her mistake. And it's a very messy one. I'm I'm going to bring families back together and make those who haven't known happiness in 900 years smile. Sure, my methods are less than ideal, but then again, so is the situation. I fight, but I do so against evil. Whatever you say, you're just a liar. All you want is to take over the world, Applejack pointed out. Take over the world? Oh, Applejack, you flatter me. No, ruling the world is far too much trouble, and I don't envy your princess at all. Crowns are heavy, and I don't mean they weigh a lot. So then, say you succeed. What are your plans for Equestria? Rarity piped up. I have none. What? There's a saying where I'm from. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Celestia and Luna are doing a far better job running your utopia than I ever could. Why would I want to go and ruin that? All that would change is there would be a better economy due to an increase in goods coming across the border that are the result of not slave labor. And for personally, maybe a vacation in a while? Oh, and everyone would be happier. A lot happier. Tell me, Pinky, how many parties have you thrown for Griffins? This brought a gasp from the pink mare, when she realized that the answer was none, save for the catastrophic failure that was Gilda's party. Well then, when I fix the world, I invite you to play in the official founding ceremony. I'll have Celestia forward you the letter when it happens so that you can start planning it. In the meantime, come on, Gilda. We've got to get ready for the launch. We were about to leave when Twilight teleported in front of us. You do know we could just fly up, right? Not all of you, she smiled. Oh? At which point, Trixie hopped on my back, Nadine on Maria's, and Gilda grabbed the dogs. Wait, you're the captain, right? Rainbow asked. Yeah? So then, why do you let Trixie, ride you? Why not? Because it's embarrassing? I'm not embarrassed. You embarrassed? I asked my rider. No. You see, this came from necessity. She needed a better way to get around, and I needed someone to look out for me in the fray. And she needed someone who could hit hard, and being ridden is surprisingly comfortable. Then why isn't Gilda being ridden? She asked, at which point Shimmer popped out of the backpack. Hi! Fluttershy perked up. A baby dragon! I'm not a baby, I'm 13! She replied spitefully. Oh, sorry. She hid behind her mane. Now that the yellow Pegasus was out in the open, Nadine, who happens to like cute things, leapt off her ride and scooped her up, hugging her. You're adorable! She cried as her victim tried to escape. Must resist urge to clump. Jealousy rising. Griff, can we keep her? You must be joking. She turned to me with those big pleading eyes that told me she wasn't. She's not a pet, She's a pony, with a mind of her own. I don't think her friends would like it very much if we took her. Grumbling, Nadine put the now disoriented pony down, pouted, and then got back onto Maria. By the way, y'all haven't introduced the rest of them, Applejack pointed out. Alright, well, Gilda and I have to meet up with Steelhorn to help with the launching of things. So why don't you all get to know each other? After it's up in the air, I'll be right back. We left before they could object.